Hello, my name is Swapnil Patil and I am going to present my first capstone project on Play Store App Review Analysis. Starting with the introduction, we performed analysis on the Play Store apps data. Play Store is the Google's official Android app store, also known as Google Play. It is one of the largest and most popular app stores with over a million apps. Our main objective was to analyze the data and discover the factors responsible for user engagement and app success. We performed exploratory data analysis, and these are the steps involved in the process. The first step was importing the required libraries, which include NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and Seaborn. We imported the data as data frame with the help of Pandas library. The second step was discovering the data and understanding it better by checking few rows, columns, shapes, data types, descriptive statistics, and many more. The third step was data preparation, in which we perform cleaning and transforming of the data to make the data effective for analysis and visualization. The last step was data visualization. With the help of graphs, plots, and charts, we learned trends, patterns, and got the answers to the questions related to the Play Store data. We used two datasets. One is apps dataset and the other is reviews dataset. Our primary focus was on the apps dataset, which contained 10,841 apps and 13 columns that are the features of the apps, such as name of the app, category, app, ratings, reviews, size, and so on. There were numerical variables as well as categorical variables present in the dataset. After knowing the data better, we checked for the missing data in the dataset. We found out that there were 1476 null values, from which rating column has most number of missing values. Looking at the distribution of rating, we can see rating is negatively skewed. So we replace the missing values of rating columns with the median value, because median is the best measure for skew distribution. We checked the missing values of other columns one by one and treated them in the best way possible. Next, we checked the data types of the columns and found that some of the numerical columns were stored as string. So we changed the data types of such columns to their original one to make data effective for plotting. During data visualization, we encountered some difficulties in plotting installs and reviews. So looking at the distribution of both the columns, we can see they are highly skewed. So we performed log transformation on both the columns to reduce their skewness and make them effective for plotting. After getting the dataset ready, we thought of considering a variable which can be used to identify the success of the app. Looking at the distribution of rating, we can say that most of the apps are liked by the users. And also, the average rating is also quite high. So, rating can be a variable to identify app success. This plot shows the number of apps for each category. There are 33 categories in the Play Store, from which family category has most number of apps. We can say that apps in this category are generally common. Game and tools category also has more than 700 apps. We saw family category has most number of apps, but when it comes to installs, game category has most number of installs. Installs can be a factor to measure the user engagement and determine the popularity of the app. We can say that apps belonging to the game category have high chances of being successful. Medical category has least number of installs, but here we can see medical category has more than 250 apps. So it's interesting. This plot shows the categories and their targeted age groups. We can see every category has apps for all age group audiences except dating category, which has 90% of its apps only for mature audience. Apps are available through Play Store either free of charge or at a cost. This pie chart shows us that there are only 8.1% of paid apps in Play Store, which is very less than the percentage of free apps. This plot shows the rating comparison of free and paid apps. We can see the average rating for the paid apps is more than free apps, but the difference is very less. And also, there are very few paid apps than free apps. This plot shows category-wise percentage of paid apps. We can see personalization category has around 22% of its total of its app as paid apps. Generally, these type of apps do well as paid apps. Medical category also has high rate of paid apps, so this can be the reason of their least number of installs. This correlation heat map shows that installs and reviews have the highest correlation. The other features does not have strong correlation in between. Price has the negative relation with all the other features. We will see the relation between these features. This plot shows the relation between price and rating. We can see majority of the apps cost below 100 or above 300. There are very few apps which cost between them. This line shows us that there is a negative correlation between price and rating. We can say that there is a slight decrease in rating with increase in price. This plot is plotted before log transformation of install. As we can see, this plot is not readable. After doing the log transformation, we can see there are more apps which have size below 20 MB, and as this size is increasing, the number of apps are also decreasing. So we can say that users generally prefer apps which require less space. Here we tried to get the relation between rating and log of installs, but the correlation is not so strong. We can see apps with around rating 4.5 have more installs. So we can say that users prefer highly rated apps to download. Here we plotted the scatter plot between installs and reviews, which have strongest correlation. We can see the apps which are installed more get more reviews, and users are attracted towards the apps which get more reviews and good reviews. Here we can see the relation between installs and the updates, how the app updates are important. Updating an app can be a way of interacting with the users. We can see most of the apps get frequent updates. Updating the apps can improve the user experience, and it can lead in increasing the user engagement of the app. Here we use the second dataset of reviews to plot this box plot. We can see free apps get more negative reviews than paid apps. Here the median polarity of paid apps is higher than the free apps. This scatter plot is plotted between sentiment polarity and rating, and we can see there is no correlation found between sentiment polarity and rating. This histogram shows the positive trend for both sentiment and rating. We can say that positive reviews can attract more users and can get good ratings. That brings us to the end of the presentation. We can conclude that family category has more apps on the Play Store, but game category is the most popular category. Users generally prefer apps which require less space. That is, size can be an important factor to look after. Updating the apps can improve user experience, and happy users can attract more users, increasing the user engagement. App ratings, reviews, and their sentiment have a significant impact on user engagement and app success. Most of the difficulties we faced during the data preparation, it is the most time-consuming phase for us. Review dataset has so much data, so it was very difficult to handle. Thank you.